Hey everybody, Sean and Allison here from Spoken Garden. Today we're gonna do an update on our birch cuttings.
Yeah, you know what? This was an audience question and we were gonna get to this soon anyway. We took several cuttings and a lot of them feel like they've rooted, but we don't know until we look.
Yep, we gotta take a look and you're here with us to check it out. So let's do this.
So you guys, here are some of the birch cuttings we took. You can see we have a mix of different mediums because our test was to see which ones would root better or root at all. We have sand, and then we have regular potting soil.
Yep. And we put root hormone on all of these, so we wanted to give them the best chance to root. So we're gonna check these out today.
We also placed about 6 cuttings here in water, and we've been watching these. We haven't seen a lot of growth yet. You guys can see.
Yeah, guys, we haven't really seen too much from the roots. There's no roots down there really to speak of that we can see, but the top portions of the plants have been doing something very interesting.
I know, look at that, you guys.
Zoom in. Hey, those are leaves popping out of those buds. Isn't that cool?
That is super cool.
Now, what we think's going on here is, of course, there's no roots, but before the roots get going, these plants need to be able to photosynthesize then to grow roots, right? They need light energy to produce those roots. So that's what we think is gonna happen. They're gonna produce these leaves and then they're gonna grow roots.
I know, I'm really curious to see how long that'll take. So that's kind of a new experiment. But this has been placed inside on a windowsill. It got really cold out here for a few days, so we didn't want this out in the freezing weather. But these guys have been on this heating mat for the last 6 weeks.
Yep.
So we need to check these.
Yep, so that's what we're doing. Let's get into it.
So we are making some space here. We've got cuttings everywhere.
Yep, and we'll give you an update on those too in a later episode because we've got some theories about some things happening here.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of dieback, you guys, and it shouldn't have happened. The way we're caring for them, they should be fine.
But we think we know what happened.
We think we know.
So guys, let's get into these cuttings. We're gonna start on the left-hand side here with our cuttings in the sand, and we're just gonna take one by one and see what we can see. It's gonna get a little messy, but what we're gonna do is just kind of move these over with our fingers. We did just water, so it's easier to kind of move this sand around, but we don't want to dislodge these too badly, so we're gonna take our time trying to get down. And I don't want to bump into anything else like I just did there. Oh, okay, well that just came out. So, well, you can see the root hormone there that we put on. Nothing's really going on there, so, okay. But the interesting thing is that these buds are not brittle. They're not dead. They're looking still like they did when we cut these. So that's a good sign. So what we need to do is try and keep rooting this possibly, and we've got a plan for that, but we're not going to talk about that right now. So I'm going to set this down here, just right there. Let's check the rest of these. Now I'm just going to pull these out for now. Yep, there's root hormone right there, but nothing coming up, nothing growing out of it. So, but again, these buds, they look fine. They don't look desiccated, they're not brittle, they're not super dead. So again, something is still alive, something's keeping these guys still alive. So basically they're still translocating for the water up through the stem and into these buds to keep them hydrated and keep these pliable. See, that's really pliable right there. That's a good sign too.
It's kind of amazing that rooting hormone has not dissipated yet. It's been 6 weeks, wow.
Yep, we kept watering them, keep them going. This is interesting though. I didn't realize this. I think we might have stripped all the buds off this. It's still pliable, but I'm not seeing, maybe that's a bud right there, but that's been below ground. That's been below the soil. So interesting event here to see what happens with this, if anything. So sand to root, straight up sand to root birch cuttings, even with root hormone, in 6 weeks, didn't work for us.
So really options at this point, right? Try to keep rooting them in the sand, or, which I think we might do, is move them to the potting soil.
Depending on what we find in the potting soil. So that's the next part, and that's what we're gonna do right here, because we checked these the other day and there was a little bit of resistance on these, so we wanna really get in here and see what's going on. I'm just gonna go down and do this, so I don't disturb any newly formed roots if there are any. Well, negatory on that one. So no roots. No roots on either treatment with the root hormone. Nothing in potting mix, potting soil, or in sand. So the very interesting thing is that when we showed you the water cuttings and we showed you the leaves starting to come out of those buds and develop, they want to photosynthesize to produce more energy and hopefully root. Keep fingers crossed. We haven't seen any of the buds over here on either the sand or the potting soil cuttings. They're not breaking bud yet. They haven't broken any buds. They're not growing. It doesn't look like they're actively growing. And so that's an interesting result where they were in soil or sand, nothing really, except staying hydrated and staying pliable, right? But in the water, they're breaking bud. The leaves are coming out. They're going to start photosynthesizing here. So that is a very interesting result.
So let's think about our next steps. We need to repot all of these.
Yes.
Do we need more rooting hormone?
I don't think so.
Not.
I don't think so either. Yep.
Because as you guys saw, like they still all pretty much have it on the ends there.
We'll sidestep the sand. We won't use that again for these cuttings to plant them into. Just because it took a lot more watering. We had to keep up on it a lot more. It dried out faster, of course. So we got the same results between it and the potting soil. Let's keep the potting soil and keep the water closer and longer around those cuttings, and then we'll see further along if they root any. Okay. So guys, the plan now is we're gonna re-stick these cuttings into these pots like this with using this soil. There's nothing wrong with the soil. It's doing fine. What we're gonna do is reuse the soil, put them in the pot, maybe multiples in each pot, maybe give them a buddy to grow with, and yeah, go from there. But that means also we're gonna take the cuttings from the sand and do the same thing, because why not? So guys, they're all potted up, as you can see. Now we just gotta water them in. So just give them a little bit of water here. Keep them nice and moist while they keep rooting, hopefully. And then we'll, our goal right now is to see if they react the same way as these cuttings are that are breaking bud. So hopefully what's gonna happen here is that these cuttings that we just put in this, these pots full of potting soil, they're gonna break bud too, just like the water cuttings are. And our theory is that once they break bud and start photosynthesizing, they will start growing roots. So that's our theory, and hopefully it'll happen. We'll see.
So you guys, that's a wrap for today. We're a little bummed that nothing had rooted yet, but it's just not time yet. And like we told you, we're gonna keep watering them and keep watching and see what happens.
Yep, great experiment. First time for us doing this, so yeah, it's fun. If you have any questions or anything, leave them down below for us. We love hearing from you. Give us that thumbs up, let us know we're doing a good job, and subscribe to our channel so you get updates on our latest videos.
Yep, and we'll be back tomorrow, you guys, with another garden care video. So come on by to see what we're up to, and have a great day ahead.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, you guys.
Bye-bye.